Rita,
Huh?
while you're doing this, can you kind of go over that principle of the thirds again?
Yeah, composition. Composition. If you look up, if you just Google composition rule of thirds, you'll get a lot of good results. Also, composition, the golden rectangle or the golden mean. That's also another type of rule. It's kind of like the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is a simplification of the golden rectangle. But pretty much anywhere, like if you chop your image into thirds horizontally and vertically, then you have lines that cross, and those 4 points where those lines cross are usually the best places to put your focal point. So here I have a balance of focal point. I have opposite thirds. So that's why this photo as an image kind of really works well compositionally, because the sun is here and the road goes here. So if the road went here and the sun was here, it wouldn't be as strong because you'd have all this empty space over here on the other side. I don't know. That said, there are rules of composition, and then all art is subjective anyway.
Right. But that's a pretty good, that rule of thirds. So that's just so that it's interesting. It makes something interesting, right?
Yeah. And if you study up on that golden mean, because it's actually a mathematical formula. I think I might have a post about that. You could search my index. I might have a post about that. It was one of the paintings that I did in a square, actually. Was talking about this guy who did this formula for composing in a square, but that's kind of an offshoot. But the golden rectangle has been around, as this formula for compositional perfection since the Renaissance and maybe even earlier. But it's also noticed in science, in nature, like the spiral of a shell that has a spiral works on the golden mean. It's like a perfect formula. It's all this stuff. I mean, I don't articulate very well about some things, but if you research that, it's just really fascinating. And because I guess something about it being found in nature, you can find it in leaves, plants that grow. You have a leaf coming out here, there's a vein, and then there's a vein, and then there's a vein. They keep getting smaller, and there's a ratio to that. And it's all that same ratio. It's like
that's cool.
1.6 something, whatever. Don't quote me on that. I'm probably completely wrong. But there's a mathematical formula to the golden mean. And
so when you talk about that with the shell, so that kind of informs me that on portraits, it's the same thing, like whether it's a portrait of a dog or a person, right?
Well, yeah, like how you place that person in your canvas or in your painting space, how you place that person, like where their head is placed within their, there are lots of portrait artists that just break that rule or ignore it, but the safest composition, the ones that you should learn from the beginning, is the golden mean. And if you make all of your artworks based on that golden mean, they will all have a really strong composition. And I'm at the point where I sometimes like to break some rules. Sometimes I like to put my subject right in the middle and to see if I can balance it somehow. But the golden rectangle is really, really cool. I did do one painting one time called July. I think I titled it July. And it was my daughter on the beach with an umbrella above her. And I actually cut off the umbrella, and I just left the umbrella pole. But there's a shadow of the umbrella down around her, and she's sitting over here. And I kind of did the golden rectangle. Sometimes it's also called the golden spiral, because it creates a spiral when you do curves among all these rectangles as the ratio goes in, and it creates that same spiral that you can find in nature. And in those cases, the thirds, so to speak, are a little bit farther out than just basically splitting your paper into thirds. And the golden rectangle is a little farther. It's also doesn't quite fit. It's like an actual rectangle shape. To fit within the actual golden mean formula, you have one specific size of rectangle. And if you squeeze it down or open it up, like if you turn it into a square, it becomes something a little bit different. But yeah, it's really fascinating. It's probably more than I can go into just even one VOS. but yeah, so the rule of thirds is a simplification of that. But it's just something to kind of keep in mind, to put your put your horizon line down instead of right in the middle, because then it's more dynamic. That way you choose which section of your landscape you want to have more importance. Those types of things could go on. I want to get more of this sky in now. Let's see.